Hello, and welcome back to Kiro's Workshop. My all-time favorite collaboration is here. The now very traditional Halloween collab this year is formed by 13 artists for you to have something to enjoy watching this spooky season. Do you want to meet our ghouls? Well, you must stick to the end. A ghost, an angry scene, and the ruler of the underworld. What did I create this year? Well, you already know because you saw the thumbnail and the title of this video. Hocus Pocus is a must-watch movie during the Halloween season. It just never gets old, and with Hocus Pocus 2 coming next year, and the recent release of the Disney limited edition dolls, I felt like I needed to incorporate one of my favorite moody witches to my collection. Hocus Pocus tells the story about the Sanderson sisters, 3 wicked witches that abduct little children to suck their youth and maintain their own. Today I'm making Winifred Sanderson, the leader of the group, moody, wicked, and a little temperamental. Winifred owns the cursed spellbook, bound by human skin, and she also has the ability to fire green magical lightning from her fingertips. For my project I wanted my Winnie to look like she succeeded to her evil plans, so she has to look much younger than in the movie. For this I'm using a Darling Charming doll, which I've already contoured and draw the initial lines off camera. First, with black pencil I'm darkening the shape of the eyes. And then, with dark umber, the outer line of the iris. I'm now tracing with red the lips, sticking to Winnie's original makeup. And fill them up. Using sienna brown to color the iris. And then draw the waterline with sienna. For the makeup I'm taking advantage of the eye mold and use it as the lid. I'm first applying some chocolate pastel as a base and blend it with green. Winnie's blush is very harsh, so I'm going to pack little circles of red pastel on the apples of the cheeks. After a new layer of sealant, I pack the color pastels again. She doesn't have eyebrows in the movie, so I won't give my doll eyebrows either, but I need to highlight where the brow bone should go, to play with the dimensions of the face. Later, fill the scleras with General Stroke pastel. I felt like she was missing a little something, so I gave her a teeny tiny wing. And then draw the pupils. I'm now adding some black pastel on the lids to make them deeper. To get some shine to the iris, I'm using my brown ochre watercolor pencil. And then add shadow to the eyes with black pastel. Finish with the catch lights. And really pack that blushing one more time. To finish with her makeup, I'll dust her face with pearlescent mica powder. Face done. Next step. I took these tiny buttons to make these silicone molds. Well, because in my version of the story, only Winnie survived while Mary and Sarah perished on their mission to achieve eternal youth. As Winifred has always been the most intelligent of the bunch, casted a powerful spell to keep her sister's souls trapped into 2 magical orbs. If you're familiar to the Hocus Pocus movie, then you already know that each sister has a special power. While Winifred is an expert on spells, potions, and has the ability to fire lightnings from her hands, Mary can smell children from a distance, and even guess their gender and age, and Sarah has the ability to hypnotize by singing. With that said, my Winifred carries the orbs everywhere, granting her the powers of her sisters. I'm making the orbs by mixing a 2-part epoxy resin, coloring it with some pastel powder, and adding glitter, red for Mary, and purple for Sarah. And in case you were thinking, man, he just wasted a lot of resin on those little things. I did. I totally wasted a lot of resin on those tiny things. And here are my little orbs. I also wanted them to look like materia from Final Fantasy. The next step is to place a piece of nylon thread on one side. Add a tiny drop of superglue to the other piece, and glue them together very precisely to— oh shit! Please be careful when using superglue. Add a crystal bead and secure it. And I'll do the same with the red orb. And here they are. I also gave them a coat of glossy polish to make them super shiny. Time for the outfit. I'm making a green leather coat for her to replace the velvet one. I'm beginning with the top. I sewed the darts off camera, and now I'm sewing it from the shoulders. Next, attach the sleeves and close it down to the waistline. Turn it inside out. Looking fresh, looking spicy. For the bottom, I cut like a quarter of a circular skirt. And now I'm going to add some pieces to create volume and dimension. And sew them to the top. If you want to work with pleather for doll clothes, try looking for the stretchy ones. Otherwise, the seams will be very bumpy. And now for the actual dress, I made two patterns, a skirt and a centerpiece. I cut the skirt on green chiffon and the centerpiece on purple. I sewed both pieces off camera and also sewed two strips of purple ribbon to the doll. I'm pinning down the side seams on the waist ribbon so that I can gather the purple chiffon. I did the waist off camera, and now I'm gathering the chest area. Once I have it in place, I'll sew it on top of the chest ribbon. I made this very improvised corset that I'll place on the back to cover the ribbon, and surround the body all the way to the front. And to close it, I'm going to use two needles with a piece of golden tensile thread and start lacing it, trying to be as symmetrical as possible. I know that my dress seems very improvised and it lacks of structure, but I did this to make it skin tight, so that the doll didn't end up looking very bulky with the coat. To add more details, I first draw some runes with pencil, and now I'm painting them with golden acrylic paint. And of course, some rhinestones are a must. Now that the dress is finally done, I'll use a piece of chain to attach the orbs, leaving one larger than the other. And now for the hair, I'm using my new favorite method, that is creating a structure of the hairdo with soft clay, painting it, and then cover it up with yarn wefts, because creating volume with lots of yarn requires a lot of patience. So for the first round, I just made wefts with brushed yarn. No iron, no curls. I need the fluffiness to add more volume. As you're watching right now, I began gluing the wefts, creating a parting, and twisting it around the space buns, trying to figure out the better way to cover the soft clay. But I quickly realized that this was not going to work, so I decided to remove everything and start again, this time gluing the wefts around the buns. I'm making the wig with the head wrapped in plastic, because I want the hairline to sit seamlessly around. So now I'm gluing the yarn directly on the plastic, so when it dries it hardens and keeps the shape of the forehead. And also by doing this, I won't stain the actual doll. Off camera, I curl the yarn that I glue this way and play it around the buns. To secure everything, I'll use extra strong hairspray. To finish this, I need to make her book, but it's going to be my own version of it. First, I mark a lot of rectangles on a piece of paper, and I'm going to cut them. one by one. Once done, I'll take all the pages and glue them together. I'm pressing against my silicone mat to keep them steady. I'll burn the edges just a little, to give it an older and mysterious look. And then I'll measure the pages to create the book cover. I'm doing this with a thick piece of paper. Add hot glue and glue on the pages to the spine. Since the cursed book is made of human flesh, I cut another book cover with faux leather. And I'm gluing on my book, starting with the spine. And later with the cover. Cut the edges and glue the flaps inside. With my X-Acto knife, I'm making cuts to the cover. And then I'll sew them back together. This helps with the realism and dimension. Off camera, I made this little eye that I'm gluing right on the center of the book. And I also made a cut with my X-Acto knife, so when I glue the pleather on the front cover, it looks like it's eyelid. Off camera, I painted the complete book with a light brown, made more cuts and sewed them like in the back cover. And then with a darker brown, I'll stain everything. Add some rhinestones. And with this, we are done. I'm extremely happy with how my Winnie turned out. To be honest, I was afraid she was not going to look like the original character, but she ended up looking very convincing. She does look like a much younger version of her, minus the teeth of course. But to be honest, I never wanted to incorporate those. Let me know what do you think about her in the comments. And now for the rest of the group. Anastasia Customs, The Doll Fairy, Delightful, The Dolly Geek, Enchanterium, Etelan, H. Ali Crafts, Hextian, Jackie O, Moonlight Jewel, Mr. Super Customs, and Valkyrie's World. This was such a unique group of fierce and spooky gals. Don't forget to watch the videos. All the channels are listed down in the description box. I hope you have a happy Halloween, eat tons of candy, and party hard. And well, that's up for today. But as always, don't forget to support the workshop by liking this video. Remember that sharing is caring, subscribe, and turn on all notifications. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next time. Kiro out!